I know. All right. So we've got 9 people with us. As you're joining, if you wouldn't mind just, giving us a shout out and telling us where you're joining us from, that would be wicked fun.
Definitely. 11.
Yay. So.
How can I see the chat, Mary? The messages come up. Will I be able to see them?
It should. Is it not coming up on the side?
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Oh, right. They're all of these little icons. Yeah.
I'm going to start the chat going.
Oh, you're a good girl. There's Christy from Iowa. Very cool.
Hey, Christy. Hi. Thanks for saying hello. Who else do we have?
Oh, this is awesome. Diane from Santa Cruz. Carol. Hey, Carol. From Galveston, Texas. Wicked awesome. Come on, guys. Don't be shy. Rebecca Aubrey from West Wales. How wicked cool is that?
Rebecca. I am just quite a bit north of you in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland. So you're the closest to me so far.
That's awesome. Let's see. We'll give a few more minutes for folks to join before we get started. And I know sometimes people, they join, they have to jump off and stuff like that. So everybody that joins us today, if you're unable to stay for the whole webinar, no worries. You'll have access to the replay afterwards. You'll actually get an email tomorrow, 24 hours, and with the link where you can access the information again. So pretty cool.
Yeah, and for those of you who are able to stay to the end, if you can stay to the end, please do, because there is a really exciting opportunity to get some one-on-one time with Mary that we'll be talking to you about at the end. So do stay on or dial back in if you need to go.
Thank you. There's Carol poking fun of my Boston accent. Thank you, Carol. You can take the girl out of Boston, but you can't take the Boston out of the girl. All right.
So Mary, how many are we? We're expecting quite a lot of.
Yeah, we had 80 folks register, which I know, really exciting. Many folks did email me though and said that they weren't able to be for the present for the live one. Mm-hmm. So in order for them to get access to the recording, you had to register live. So of that group, I'm not sure how many folks will be just enjoying the replay.
Hey, Laura in Aberdeen.
Woo, Laura, that's so wicked cool. I'm excited.
Mary. Hey, Jacqueline.
Hey, Jacqueline. I just saw you last week in Las Vegas.
It's so cool.
Right? It's really cool.
We're going to be talking to you about, the importance of an international community of neonatal change makers. And it's amazing to see that you're all here with us today. The international community is great.
It is really cool. I think this platform is just such a cool way of really connecting folks, like-minded people that are really trying to change the world for the babies and families that we serve. So it's a real privilege to be with you guys. Holy moly, Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
That is super cool. Thanks, Francis, for joining us.
Mary, shall we begin and really respect those that are here and their time and the fact that they've showed up on time? And
very good.
So much exciting stuff to cover.
I
think we should take it away.
I think you're absolutely right. So now I'm just going to get myself going here and figure out how I can advance the slides.
This is a new platform for us, guys. So am I allowed to say that? Is it okay to be that open? So if there are any little questions or you see Mary and I kind of going a little bit rabbit ahead.
Yeah, just go with the flow, guys.
We might be having a slight technical hitch, but trust that we will do what we can to show up and do our best for you today.
Well, I'm wicked excited that
Yeah.
the subject, and the objectives really resonated with so many folks. That people really intrigued with how to reconnect with their purpose and passion. And so we're really going to share a lot of that information today together. The objectives are to walk you through the journey from struggle to significance, and share the need to balance the science and the soul in service to others. And we're going to summarize by sharing the opportunity to work with us through the Quantum Leap program. So we'll start with an introduction of us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start. Okay. So hi, my name is Mary Coughlin. I'm a neonatal nurse practitioner from Boston, Massachusetts, and the founder of Caring Essentials Collaborative. And as many of you know, I'm very, very passionate about this work around trauma-informed care for infants, families, and clinicians. And so pretty much every word that comes out of my mouth is in some way, shape, or form connected to that. And I'm very blessed to have so many folks interested in this subject as well, because I can't do it alone, and I can only do it with you guys. So that's enough about me. Now I would love to let my beautiful co-presenter introduce herself, Mel McIntyre.
Thank you, Mary. And you're always so modest, Mary, when you do your introductions. But it's great to hear you. I'm really looking forward to hearing you tell some of your stories today, and share some of the things that have made a difference in your life, because you've got such an incredible career and do such amazing work in the world. And so, I just want to kind of add that to why I'm excited to be here as your partner in business and changing the world, right? Because that's what we're here to do. And so I am Mel McIntyre. I'm a women's leadership coach and a change consultant. And my mission and purpose in life is to really empower women to step up and to lead and to fulfill their potential by reconnecting with their purpose and why they're here, and helping them to overcome the often self-inflicted challenges that we face. The way that these can show up, the way we talk to ourselves sometimes, we would never talk to anybody else like that. I love to help women overcome self-doubt and really step into their calling of who they're here to be and what they came here to do. I'm also the director of the Soul Track in the Quantum Leap program and a business partner of Mary's. And so we do work together. I work with Mary on a consultancy basis, and so I'm doing some work with Aberdeen. So, hey, Laura, we know each other, as well as the Quantum Leap program as well. And I also work with my own clients, who are often women who want to make big changes in their life, and I mentor them and help them to do that. And also, women who just want to find more confidence and authenticity, to be them in a way, to be successful in a way that feels good.
Yeah.
So that is me, and I'm really excited to be here with you today, guys.
And I just want to say that the whole meeting of Mel has really changed how I move through the work that I do. And because of her specialty and what she just described to you today is why I invited her to be part of the Quantum Leap program. She, in my opinion, was really the missing link to creating a service that really helped people be successful in the work that they want to do, be successful change makers. I would focus on, the tactical stuff. And I realized, as important as that is, it's not everything to really be successful in quality improvement work, as many of you know. And if you don't, you'll learn it as we take you through this slide presentation. So I want to just kind of ask you a few questions as we, begin this webinar, I'm so sorry, and give you an opportunity to kind of reflect on where you are on your journey. Many of us, maybe as little girls or little kids, we thought, I always want to be a nurse, or I always wanted to be a doctor. I always wanted to be something, that passion, the interest around that passion, and how it really came to shape your purpose. So I'm going to throw this question at you guys and ask you, how has your passion and your interests evolved to shape your purpose? You don't have to have the whole answer. Your purpose may still be unfolding. I feel mine is still unfolding. but how has your passion and your interest evolved over time, evolved over your career? And in the same vein, I want you to think about what inspires and gives meaning to you and gives meaning to your life. Think about, when you were in school, whatever discipline you were pursuing, what was inspiring you to persevere? Because if you're like me, school was tough. There was lots of challenges. What made you stick it out? What was that driving force? And what impact would you like to make on others? And are you able to reconnect with that vision of impact that you may have had when you first started school? Or has it changed? Or have you bumped into some walls? Is it more challenging to make an impact? Do you feel lost from making that impact that you thought you were going to make, when you first embarked out on school? And I'll transition to sharing a story. So I'm a nurse, right? So, and I went to nursing school. Yes?
Mary, sorry, just before this is such a great story. I think a couple of people have had connection problems.
Oh, no.
So Karen heard, I think you're going to retry the link. Someone else has had, Crystal's had technical difficulties are finally on. Could those of you that are here, there's a lot of you here, could you just let us know in the chat if you can hear us and if you can see the slides? Because before we really launch into the content, we really want to make sure that you're with us, that you're able to hear us and you're able to see us. So can you just give us a little yes, everything's okay, I can see you, I can hear you.
Thank you.
Because we do just want to make sure that there aren't any issues, and also that there's nothing that we need to do on this end. I can see and hear you fine. Okay, that's fine.
Great. I can hear.
I can see and hear. Thank you. Excellent, Diane, Jodie. Thank you so much.
Oh,
for video
good.
and sound. Okay, brilliant. So that's good. So at least if some people, if we know that, yes. Okay, it's all coming thick and fast.
Beautiful. Great.
So some people may have some issues at their end.
Okay. Good. Thank you. I wasn't looking at the chat board, so thank you very much for calling my attention.
Let me do that.
All right. I'll do for you too.
So somebody has switched their server to Chrome, which is working better. So if any of you are having challenges, go to Chrome. Okay. Now.
Oh, that's great feedback. Thank you. So let me just begin with the struggle. And I remember many years ago, the struggle of transitioning from being a student nurse to being a licensed nurse. And I was full of hopes and aspirations of making a difference and being Florence reincarnated, to be honest with you. I was really that passionate about the care that I wanted to provide. And I remember when I got indoctrinated, if you will, into my first civilian nursing position, I quickly learned that I better step up and step in line with the way things were done in this environment. It was all about fitting in, adapting, making myself assimilate into that culture. And so I did my best, of course, right? I'm a pleaser. I wanted to fit right in and make it all work and stuff. And it was all about the tasks and being very competent and being on schedule and all those really important things. I thought they were really, really important at the time, but there was something not feeling right inside of me. And one particular shift, I was working and I had been taking care of this really, really sick, small person, a baby that was born at 24 weeks with intrauterine growth restriction. Like if that's not like making things 10,000 times worse, I don't know what is. And this little person had been sicker than stink for weeks. She was on the oscillator, high dose pressors. We were doing everything we could from a technical biomedical perspective to keep this person alive and hopefully have her survive. And not long after I came on shift, it became apparent that we were failing in our work, in our efforts to do that. And in the meantime, we also were informed that the family had never held this baby. And the reason why, we thought we were being very prudent, the baby couldn't be held because the baby was too unstable. Things would get really bad if we did anything other than just manage her medically and medicinally. And so the physicians came over and they said, look, we've tapped out. We have done everything we can. We need to redirect care. And that's the term that we would use when we would get ready to, withdraw life support. Redirect care. And given that that's where we were, the physician said it's okay if the baby is held by the parents now, because obviously there's nothing else we can do, and she's already unstable. So there. So I felt really excited about this. I mean, it was a very somber moment, but I felt really excited about this because it felt like I was meeting that missing piece of the care that I wanted to bring to the patients, but really wasn't accepted in this setting that I worked in. And so I worked with a whole bunch of folks, right? The other nurses on the shift, the respiratory therapists, they all came over and helped me move this incredibly tiny person with all these lines and tubes over to her mother's chest. And we got her there safely. Everything was okay, hooked everything back up. It's an open bay unit, so we had to bring over some privacy screens to give them some time. And I stepped outside the curtain to, do my documentation and everything. And as I was outside the curtain, the alarms started going off, and I thought, oh gosh, fudge, I should have silenced them. I went back in, and I was surprised to see that the baby's oxygen saturation was actually up to like 99, 100%. And she was on 100% oxygen. So I tweaked down the oxygen a little bit and stepped back outside the curtain. And then got called back in. The alarm went off again. This time it was the blood pressure. Her blood pressure was coming back up into a normal acceptable zone. And she was on max dopamine and max epinephrine. So I turned that down a little bit, turned down the oxygen a little bit as well, and stepped back out. And to make a long story short, that baby didn't die that night. In fact, she didn't die at all. For the next 3 days, we did a vigil, and that baby just moved from the mother's chest to the father's chest and survived. She has deficits, but she survived. And it was really in that moment of care that a lot of things changed for me, that I realized as much as I was an adrenaline junkie and I was thrilled by all the technology and everything, we didn't have all the answers. That this little person was telling us, if I don't have love in my life, I might as well die, because what I'm going through right now is not worth living. But moving that little person to her mother's chest changed everything for that baby. That baby, reconnected with her purpose to live, and that life was worthwhile now that she could feel and smell and hear her mother and the source of all love and kindness. And so I think many of you probably have a similar story, right, of that struggle. In fact, just recently, one of our current Quantum Leap students, she shared with us about a situation very similar where she was caring for a baby. She's over from British Columbia, Canada, and one of the patients that she was caring for 4 months was on the jet ventilator for 4 months, and ended up passing away, never feeling the skin of her mother's chest, never having that opportunity to have that beautiful embrace of love, right? That unmatched sense of safety and security that we can give, that we can offer, that is transcendent, right? It's life-giving and life-saving at the same time. And it was that experience for her that propelled her to do this huge QI project to create the circumstance. And actually, she created an adapter for the jet ventilator to facilitate kangaroo care for babies on the jet ventilator. And they were recognized in the newspaper, and she's writing this up for publication. And Carol, you make that comment. There are so many stories. I know all of you have your own story of struggle, and it's a struggle. But once you kind of see what is available to you, that once you let go of the struggle, you let go of the oars that you're fighting against, to fight against that soft and gushy side of you that knows that the love makes a difference, you're free. And it really helps transition you to that next stage. And in that next stage, you can survive your environment, right? And the babies are surviving their experience. This place of survival kind of becomes a new plane of existence for you, right? Where we figure out how we can survive in this space and feel a little closer to that person that we wanted to become when we studied, we went to study our given discipline. Am I making sense here? Are you feeling where I'm coming from?
I think let's take a pause, because I mean, I know you felt the emotion of that story.
Yeah.
I absolutely felt the emotion of that story. No, it's all right. And I think we need to honour that, because this is why I do this work. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a nurse practitioner, but I am a mother. And to think that this term, and I know this is going to feel so familiar to you guys, this is how we do things around here.
Yeah.
We don't do that here. This is how we do things here. That's not how we do things here.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that can stop you having the emotional and physical connection with your child that is your right, that is their birthright, that is your birthright as a mother, it should never be okay. It should never be okay. And the flip side of when we talk about survival is that what we see repeatedly, what you've experienced, maybe in your own career, both personally, and what you've seen in so many practitioners that you have worked with and you've borne witness for, is that environment of having to work against your instinct and against your intuition leads to you feeling like you're just surviving, right? That is the flip side of survival.
Yeah.
Is that it's not okay to just survive in doing what you're doing. You know, we want to create environments where babies thrive, patients thrive, families thrive, but you thrive too. Mm-hmm. As a nurse, as a practitioner, in the work that you do. And what we see time and time again is that surviving, that just getting by, it leads to people having to seek out that sense of numbness. What do you do to stay numb?
Yeah.
How do you numb yourself from what you have to witness in the work that you do at times? What does that look like for you? Where's your self-care? Where do you put yourself in that queue of all of the people that look to you for support and care and love and guidance? Where are you within that? Because what we see time and time again is that if you're not at the back of the queue, you're pretty far back there. Mm-hmm. And so that's the other side of, this mission that Mary and I have, and that we feel, and we're not alone. Like, there's lots of you out there who also feel there has to be a different way. There has to be another way that is better than the way that we have, fallen into. Yeah. Better than the way that, organizational policy or practice has created. So I'd just love to hear from you guys in the comments. Like, does this resonate? Do you have stories like this? Maybe you've been there and you have made changes so it doesn't feel like that for you anymore. So you don't feel like that you're surviving. Mm-hmm. Maybe you've got some tactics that help you to have, great balance in your life, that you are able to, feel a lot of ease and joy through the work that you do, and how you also kind of balance your home life. So I'd really love to hear from you. So, like, Rebecca, thank you. Like, Rebecca, yeah, make life living for this baby just makes so much. Oh, sorry, Una, I can't quite make out exactly what your meaning is there. Keep the comments coming, because we will link. We will link to them as well when we're talking.
Mel, when you were,
I just really wanted to come in and say that, because I think we're all probably feeling the weight of that story that you told, and I can't tell you how powerful that was for me when you told that story. But,
I think that when you were speaking, and you're so right on point, because I think we do struggle to be ourselves, our authentic selves, in the clinical setting. That sometimes it's looked down upon if you're not compliant, right? And you're not just kind of going with the flow and accepting the way we do things here. You made me think of Suzy Johnson. So Suzy Johnson is a graduate of the Quantum Leap program. And when she first started, she's just a lovely woman, very meek and mild. And she would say yes to anything and everything people would ask her. And she very openly would say, I want people to like me. I didn't want to be that outsider. So I would say yes. Work an extra shift? Yes. Do this? Yes. Absolutely. I'll do anything. And I think a lot of us feel trapped in that place. Oh, Priscilla, what I see when a mother first holds her NICU baby is a radical change from terror to relief. Right. So many of them say it's the first time they really felt like a mother.
Mm.
And
So
that
powerful.
power lies with us,
Yeah.
to facilitate that.
And Mary, I love that you brought in Suzy. We maybe need, yeah, I love that you brought in Suzy and the story about her her saying yes. And like, Suzy was such an amazing success story within Quantum Leap. In fact, all our graduates are amazing success stories, but Suzy had been working off the side of her desk, not having anywhere near enough hours to do the work that she was there to do for years.
Mm.
And long story short, she ended up getting a fully paid position through the work that she was doing with her QI project, and the confidence that she gained as well.
Mm.
And she knew when she took on this new position, which was everything she's ever dreamed of, that she could not be successful in that position by operating in the way that she had been.
Yeah.
And that she had to start saying no. And this is the power of the coaching aspect around like confidence, mindset, strategies to be more productive, to have more courage, that we cover in the soul track. Is that, Suzy learned how to say no.
Mm.
And mean it and feel good and not feel like she was doing something wrong. Like, there's a power in that, right?
There
Does
is.
that resonate with you guys? That if you could just, come from that place of solidity and empowerment and knowing when when it's right to say yes to something, when it's right to say no, and not feeling, yucky about it, feeling great about it.
Mm.
I love, so Carol, I just want to share what Carol said. Is that what you were going to do, Mary?
Yes, go, yeah.
Carol said, the story links my brain and emotions, so I feel like I did the first time I realised what caring for NICU babies really means for them and their families. I too was an adrenaline junkie in the beginning. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
I know. And I think it's not, they're not antithetical to each other, right? You can still be an adrenaline junkie, but be a heart-centered, right, adrenaline junkie. It is thrilling to do this work, and you do need to have a certain set of technical skills. And when I talk about success, I think there are layers of that success, kind of like as you evolve and you become like, the IV queen, or the pick princess, the pick lines, and these different little names that we put on the technical prowess of our colleagues. And but the success, I think, is really, it's deeper than that. It's what Carol explains. It's what Priscilla shared in the story. The true success, in my mind at least, and I think many of you guys, is when that success demonstrates itself in the significant impact that you make. And certainly saving lives, bringing people back from the precipice of death is obviously very important and very significant. But it's in the how that we do that, right? And the bigger picture around that these things aren't mutually exclusive, that we can bring significance to our work by building that confidence, right? Learning to say no when it's appropriate, pushing the comfort zone, inviting people to look at their work through a different lens, through that trauma-informed lens.
Yeah.
And it's a game changer. Go ahead, Mel. Sorry.
I was just going to say, when you're talking about, the significance of the work, it's, the external significance of this work. Nobody can refute it. It's not debatable. Like, the impact that you all have in the world through the work that you do, it's incredible. You know, like Mary says, it just rolls off the tongue. You know, you save lives. You make the most impactful difference in the world. But at times, I know from knowing some of you and from being witness to the challenges that you face, that often that success comes at a cost. You know, whether it's part of your integrity or part of your values. Excuse me, my phone's ringing in the background. I want you to understand for yourself and to decide for yourself, what does success look like that makes your heart sing? What does that look like? What does that success look like? That should be the benchmark for your success. Sorry, Mary. That should be the benchmark for success.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I like how you called upon the self-care aspects, because I think it's really important for us to all really get it into our heads that you can't give what you don't have. And so, you know, in the work that we do, it's about compassion, right? It's about offering hope. It's about the courage to do that in a meaningful, consistent way. But to give that on a daily basis, on a regular basis, you have to make sure that your own cup is full, that you are realigned with your purpose and your passion, that it's clear that, you know, I know for myself, and it's funny for me to say it now, because I know this other woman always used to say to me, the reason why she enjoyed working with me is when we worked in the hospital setting was when everything was all up in flames and crazy and we didn't know what to do, I would just come back to the patient. What is in the best interest of the patient? You know, everybody else, their feelings, their thoughts, their whatever conjecture is flying around. But I found my answer by coming back to home base, coming back to core and saying, what's the best for the baby? But in order for me to do that, I had to have a full cup. I had to feel confident in my power as a leader to be able to say that. Because when you say that, you can piss off a lot of people. And I used to fret about that, you know, in my younger career days, just like Suzy and so many of you guys, you know, you fret about pissing off people. But if you come back to ground and you come back to home and you keep your eye on the prize, and the prize is what is in the best interest of that baby and that family, it's like a compass, right? It'll always keep you on course. But you can't do that if you don't take care of yourself in meaningful ways, not numbing ways. Because I used to think self-care was what I learned from Mel is, oh, I'm actually numbing. That's not self-care. Having that glass of wine at the, you know, when I get home and flopping on the couch and watching Ellen reruns, I thought that was self-care.
Yeah. And, you know, it can be, I mean, it's always tough, you know, when I challenge women around this stuff, Mary, because, you know, you don't want to get judgy around how people spend their time.
No.
However, there's a really good temperature check that you can do with yourself, and that is the way that you spend your time or invest your time. You know, does that replenish your energy stores in a positive way, or does it detract from them? And so, you know, as part of my own personal story, when I had a corporate career that was pretty senior and pretty highly pressured, my coping mechanisms were not healthy, and they were alcohol based, they were box set based, they were, you know, it was about numbing mechanisms. And I was very, very detached from myself at a deeper level. And that for me led to a burnout and some really pretty challenging mental health issues. And so, you know, I come here, I'm not here to preach, but I'm here to talk as somebody who has faced my own demons and challenges around the way that the choices I've made and the way that I've not looked after my body or my mind or my soul. And who is now that I've found some strategies and tactics and ways that work, along with, you know, the other aspects of getting to the deeper root cause of why you do that and what it is that you're trying to numb, or what's the hole that you're trying to fill. it's just, I need to share that with as many people as possible, right? That's in the way that you need to share your care with as many people as possible. And so you really think about that, the way that you spend your time, is it an investment in your energy? Or what do you do to nourish yourself on a regular basis? What are some of the routines that you have to recharge? Routines, what are the habits that you have in place which keep you feeling energized and full of vitality, healthy? It's really important that you think about that and pay attention to that. And also share with us, share with us what you do that works, or share with us where you'd love more guidance on that, because that's what we're here for.
And the thing that you're talking about, Mel, is not, it's really starting to become more mainstream. Most recently, the Institute for Healthcare Improvement, which is an international organization around quality and patient safety, is now looking at what they call joy in work. And they've created this entire framework around joy in work that they've now discovered, amazingly, that just giving people the tools to do the right thing doesn't guarantee that people are going to do the right thing. That that you have to be reconnected with your whole self. You have to be in alignment with your purpose and your passion. You need to feel rejuvenated, right, and healthy. I like how you use those terms, to really be able to bring your A game, not only to your work, but to your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You guys come and share. Right? Start jotting down. What are some of the things that you do that fill up your cup?
And what are some of the challenges that you face that you'd love to be supported with? Essential oils and music. I love it, Carol.
Oh, nice.
Even have a diffuser in my office. That's on my to-do list to get a great diffuser for some oil.
Really? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, Carol. Thank you.
I'm gonna throw up a question. I'm gonna ask a poll. All right.
Okay, great.
All right. So I'm asking all of you guys. It's a yes or no question. All right. Here it comes. Do you struggle to integrate the science and the soul of authentic caregiving in your work setting? How many of you guys struggle?
Mm-hmm. So do you struggle to integrate the head and the heart, right? The science and the soul, the way that you care. Do you struggle to integrate the medical aspects with the care aspects?
Exactly.
Heidi, hi Kevin. Heidi has said that she loves to be outside in a natural setting, but I love what Heidi says. She said, I need to do this purposefully more often.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's about scheduling the time. Priscilla's struggled more when she was younger, so it sounds like Priscilla's doing some things to help in that area. Schedule the time. Make a date with yourself. Make it non-negotiable. What lights you up? What makes your heart sing?
I love that folks are sharing. So so we have 70% of the folks say that they do indeed struggle to integrate the head and the heart in their caregiving environment. And God bless you guys that said no, we're psyched.
Yeah, totally. It's amazing. Yeah. It's
So
great to hear that.
Let me see if I can come back now. I've got another question I want to ask you. This is more kind of getting a feel for the different environments. And I know some of us work in really collaborative environments, and some of us still struggle with resistance to change. So for you guys, does your work culture resist change? I actually just read a white paper from one of the fellows from IHI talking about that myopic view of healthcare, that healthcare systems have a very myopic view of their opportunities for improvement and opportunities for change. So this is great.
Boy, do they resist change. OMG, do they resist. Well, don't sit on the fence, Crystal. Just you say it how it is. Heidi says, I can bring my heart to work, but it comes at a cost to me. I'm empty in my cup and need to pay attention. Heidi, yes, we hear you, right? And we're here for you, because that is exactly what we want to help you to get better at, is to find ways to systematically fill
Yes.
your cup, gain confidence, gain courage, know how to influence more effectively. Change is my thing, and that is and successful transformational change and organizational changes. That's my background. I've got 20 years in that stuff, and it's always fascinating because it doesn't matter what type of organization it is, what professional kind of challenges that you come up against. The same kind of phrases that you hear people use and say. And we've been doing some really exciting work in Aberdeen in Scotland, Mary and I, and we've got Laura. Laura, excellent. So Laura says, yes, resist. Yes, they resist change, but getting much stronger at persisting.
Beautiful.
So there can be that resistance, but there are strategies and tools and ways to overcome that, and that actually increase collaboration, increase communication, and mean that as you collectively build these capabilities and how to change more effectively from the outside in, it means that you develop your ability to change well. And so that's something that, it's like a muscle. The more you do it, the more you work it, the easier it gets. And that's really important for transformational care. That's really important for transforming practices, which, if you're here, then I'd bet that you buy into it and believe what Mary writes about, her expertise, what she's talked about. That takes change to happen successfully. That takes for change to stick. And again, that's the other aspect of the Quantum Leap program and the work that Mary and I do, that Mary called the missing link.
Yeah. Well, and there's a nice segue there. So I'm going to ask this last question, which is kind of going to segue into the last portion of our slide deck. Are you interested in learning how you can transform the experience of care in your clinical setting?
And I just want to share, Rebecca has said, she trained in NIDCAP, she nursed for 15 years in the NICU. She struggled so much with changing culture. She ended up having to take 3 years out.
Oh my goodness.
Herself to the resistance of others. Rebecca, I hear you, because when your cup is, running dry, your resilience, that's the word here, when you don't have a good personal resilience, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then these things can really beat you down, can really get you down. Ramya, I hope I'm pronouncing that okay, said it's hard to integrate the head, the hearts, and the hands. I love that. The head, the hearts, and the hands in a setting that doesn't always support it.
It's so
true. That's why when Mary talked to me about her mission, about bringing together a community, an international community of heart-centered change makers who really believe in this cause, but they feel alone. You're out there feeling like, you're banging your head against the wall thinking, I want to do things differently. I really care about the change that I can make here. I'm really driven. This is my passion. I know this is my purpose. We want to equip you with the tools. We want to give you the support. We want to help you know you're not alone in doing that. And Carol, I love that. Carol says, this discussion really encourages my heart. Thank you, Carol. Yay!
You're not alone. You're not alone. And so what we'd like to do is just kind of introduce you to the Quantum Leap program, which we started back in 2018 with our pilot group. And I think both of us have learned an awful lot about the needs of clinicians, the challenges that clinicians have about integrating head, heart, and hands in the workplace consistently and reliably in a way that really makes you feel whole again, makes you feel like that person that you wanted to be when you embarked on your professional career. And we've been so successful with our graduates. So as I mentioned, we started the program back in 2018 with our pilot. It started out as a 6-month program, but since that we've now extended it to a 12-month program. The graduates now represent all the regions of the U.S. In Canada, they're from Quebec and British Columbia, and of course Scotland, UK from Aberdeen. The projects that folks have embarked on have been just amazing. Most of them have been framed by, well, all of them are framed by the core measures for trauma-informed care, the 5 core measures, if you remember those: pain and stress, protected sleep, the healing environment, activities of daily living, and of course, family. And these folks have presented their work around standardizing postural support, pain prevention for feeding tube insertion, alleviating burnout and enhancing staff engagement, standardizing skin-to-skin practices, quiet time initiatives, partnerships with parents, just amazing work that they were invited and presented at our International Congress, the Science and Soul, which we're having our 3rd annual Trauma-Informed Neuroprotective Care Conference. Now you can see why we take that big long name and we push it down and we call it the Science and Soul. They've done both podium and poster presentations, and actually we have one graduate now who's now working with me as a consultant for Caring Essentials, and Sharon really broke the mold that in the work that she had done as a nurse manager. She started out as a nurse manager when she joined the Quantum Leap program, and something beautiful and magical happened with her as we watched and as we got to bear witness to her journey in really reconnecting with her purpose and passion. And she retells the story of how a nurse director of hers, during a conversation, made a glib remark about how hope is not a method. And Sharon tells this beautiful story about when the director said that to her, it was totally crushing to Sharon, and it pissed her off because she felt like, how can you dismiss hope? Hope is just such an important thing. Hope for our patients, hope for the families, hope for each other. She shares stories about how she offers hope to the nurses that she managed when they would make a medication error, or when they had something going on at home and they needed to have some time out, or when they needed to figure out how they could support a critically ill baby in doing kangaroo with the family. She presented it at the One Conference. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the One Conference out in California by Kathy Randall, and then she presented it at the Science and Soul Conference last year in Bruges, Belgium. Well received, and just really inspiring for me, and I think also for Mel, to see somebody reconnect with their passion and their purpose. And she's got some serious clarity going on. She knows what she's going to do. She knows the impact she's going to make and the legacy that she's going to leave behind, which is just super validating, to be able to work with people in that way. Right, Mel? I mean, it just...
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing, all of our graduates have achieved amazing things. And I think Mary and I have really grown a very deep sense of confidence that we know this works and we're really on to something here. And one of the reasons why Sharon created such success in the program is that she was really ready and she was really willing to go there. And so everybody always jokes about the soul sessions with me, that I always make people cry. It's not me that makes them cry, but yes, I am deeply challenging. And if I think that there's an area where you're holding back and there's value in you exploring that in an incredibly safe and supported way, then I will create that container for you. I will create that space and I will take you through that and give you the tools and equip you with the tools that you need to overcome that, whatever it is that's holding you back from going on and, really reaching your next level of potential and fulfilling your potential. And Sharon leaned into that. She was willing to, she thought, she says she remembers the day in the call when I was kind of corralling people. She's like, okay, I'm just going to go for it. And from that moment, everything opened up. Everything opened up for her. It was really transformational, because once you start developing that sense of momentum, there's nothing's going to stop you. Ramya, I want to talk to you, because what Ramya says is what she struggles with is she participates in programs like this, but then still struggles to implement and feels more defeated. The whole point of this program is when you implement, you're given the tools that means you will not be defeated, and you're given the support that we've got your back here. We give you the tools that work. They're proven. They're science-based. Even my stuff is proven and science-based. And we help you work through that. Okay, that's what this is. Ramya, please don't. Ramya says, maybe I need to lower my expectations and not expect to change the world just because I'm open to these concepts. No, no, no. Here is your first tough love from me. Not gonna happen,
No,
right?
no.
Because that's why we're here. That's why we're here. We are here to change the world one tiny baby at a time. We're here to change the world through, if I can help you all have more confidence, more conviction, I want the fire in your belly to be burning for change, for positive change, not dampened out by by exhaustion and, disconnection. And I don't think that's what you want either.
No.
So please do, like, Mary, share some. Never mind listening to us, right?
Yeah.
Forget me, Mary. Listen to the guys who've done this journey with us.
I'm going to share Nancy's testimonial. It was super impromptu. She was joining a group call for the virtual masterclass, and one of the gals asked about Quantum Leap, and I zipped my lip because I didn't want to be biased and let Nancy take the question. So here's Nancy's testimony.
Quantum Leap to me is the ideal program, because whenever you go on a venture and you become, when you become a leader and wanting to implement something or be a leader in taking that forward, it's always good to take a look at yourself and see what kind of a leader you are, what kind of things you can do to become a better leader. And that, I think, is what the soul part offered. It gave you a chance to really look at your own attributes, where you're coming from personally, some things from your past that might be affecting what you're doing now, things that you can do to better yourself, to make yourself a better leader. It was a lot of soul searching, really looking on the inside with a good support group. Mel really asked a lot of questions that really made you think that I would have never looked at that part. If she had not prompted with those questions, I wouldn't have looked at that. She gave a lot of really good suggestions on, like, managing your time, taking care of yourself, setting goals, all those kinds of things. And then you could hear from other people who, with their different struggles that they're having. A lot of us have the same, because we're working in the NICU group, so you get your Barbaras and you get a whole bunch of others in there. And so there's a lot of support that way. It was good. And then they would offer, have you thought of doing this? And that was great. And then from Mary, you've got all of the science, all of the background, although she gave a lot of good suggestions because she attended the soul prompt things too. But you get all of the information that you need. And then the soul part is how you can be the best leader that you can be, to make sure that you get the information out in an effective way. So to me, it was ideal. I've never experienced, I've been in a lot of educational programs, never been in anything like that. And I would highly recommend it if you would get a chance to do that. It was awesome.
Amazing.
Right?
Mary, I just want to share some of the comments. So Rebecca says, sounds wonderful, sign me up. Great, Rebecca. I haven't actually told you about the programme yet, so I love that attitude. Yes, we will definitely do that. Laura, thank you. Laura says, Mary and Mel definitely have your back. Our unit is buzzing. Laura's in Aberdeen.
Yes.
With us right now. Ramya says, I love it. I'm watching on a southwest flight. Yay for Wi-Fi. Ramya's totally tearing up with all the authenticity. You know what? I really love that you used that word, because I hope that you guys can feel that this is the real deal. Like, we really care about this, and we're here to change the world, and we can't do it alone. No. We need you guys with us, and that's what I'm here to help Mary change the world. And there's a big vision here, right? Mary has a big vision. Huge. Mary knows she has a leadership role in the world that she needs to play, and that she can't do that alone. And part of this vision is about, creating this community of professionals who have a higher standard of care, who really, go forth and spread the word all over the world. And Mary, I know you won't mind me saying this, but you've had to work on your leadership, right?
I have, yeah.
We're in this with you, right?
Yeah.
And And so, yeah, that's why we want to invite you to get on board the Quantum Leap Soul Train with us.
I love you call it a soul train.
I'm
going to show you Suzy's testimonial. You ready, guys? What would you say to somebody who's thinking about enrolling the program? Are there any key sound bites or anything that you would say if somebody's on the fence and they're not sure if they want to do it? What would you say that would help them make that decision?
Well, do it. Do it. If you want to be a change maker for your NICU, this is something you need to do. There's this little blurb that I had read. I don't even know, it might have been something you gave to me, Mary, and it has been profound to me, and that it's all about transformation in the NICU. And a baby's brain is like building a home, and that you need to have a foundation. Without the foundation, you can't add the wiring and everything that goes with it. And hence a baby's brain, neurons that wire together, fire together. And where I'm going with this is that this is what it's all about. It's all about the babies. It's all about the parents being involved in care. And how can we as clinicians help all this transformation take place? Mm-hmm. And it is so difficult to do when we go to work every day in our 12-hour shifts and just go and we do and not be present in the moment. We can't do it without each other. It takes a tribe to do it. And this was the key thing for me. This is what got it all going, to let yourself be out there and be heard by these like-minded people. And the more this program grows, it's not like that I'm not part of it now. We're all a part of a Facebook group. It goes on and on. I can't tell you the amount of people, again, it just gives me chill bumps, that I have networked with and I have met, and that has made such change and an impact on my practice and in myself. And I just can't say enough about it. It's a wonderful program, and I don't think anybody would regret ever doing it. It's
thank you.
It's all about what the NICU is and what we want it to become.
Oh, Suzy, thank you so very much.
Whew. I hope that everyone could hear them. They were really quiet for me.
I know. I'm so sorry about the sound if it was not as ideal as you would have liked. I didn't know how to control it. So let me come back here to our slide deck. We're just going to give you some of the nuts and bolts.
Sorry, see, before you move on, I just wanted to read
yes.
one of those out just in case.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Sorry. Can you go back to that? No? The testimonial slide.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes.
I love, if you want to make a difference in the lives of the babies and families that you care for, and if you want to be the best that you can be, this is the course for you.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it? And just do it.
Just do it.
That was, Suzy's like outed. No one, sorry, Suzy, but that was Suzy. I was about to go on everything else, so we might as well out her on that, right?
I know. It's just so validating, though, and so aligning, to get that kind of feedback from folks, and really you can feel their authenticity. I mean, we're working together. I mean, and of course, just FYI, once you become part of Quantum Leap, there's no going back. No. You're with us for life, and and that's an amazing and beautiful thing for most of the time, right? But I'm going to let Mel speak to the next few slides.
Yeah, be careful what you share, because we will hold you to it, right? Oh no, why did I tell you that, Mel? No, do it. Yeah, you're right. I am going to help you do it. So, this is all about learning how to challenge the status quo, advancing your career, but most importantly, improving the standard of care, right, for those tiny babies. And it is about becoming a leader of a global movement. Like, it's so exciting. And an international community of change makers. We've talked about this already. It's about, having that opportunity to stand up on stage and talk about the work that you've done, getting published in this stuff, professional accolade, and you know, that's so that opportunity is there for those of you that you know, that's an important thing. And for those of you where, you know what, I just want to feel more confident to care in the way that I want to just help this change stick. You know, I wish I could stop that internal chatter that, you know, that holds me back, the self-doubt. We cover that. And so, you know, it's about having the courage to take bold action, right? It's about knowing that you're not alone, that you're part of something more than you, and you're supported and you're held, but you're also propelled forward. And it's about having the energy, the drive, the focus, and the momentum to create meaningful change, both on a personal and professional level. So, you know, it's going to feel easier to say no, as we know through Suzy. It's going to feel easier to have hope. Like that feels like such a powerful claim for me. Like, and I really believe it, right? That it can feel easier for you to have hope. You know, Ramya, I never want you to feel or think again that maybe I should just dial back. Maybe I should just dull myself. Maybe I should just stay small to fit in with the world around me that deep down I know is wrong. We're not going to let that happen if you come and join the tribe. That's our promise to you. And we're going to share the strategies and the tools to help you know exactly that your phone now.
Sorry.
We're such a like professional duo. You can certainly tell it reveal. So what do you get? Vast array of professional knowledge, practice, strategies, both in change leadership, personal leadership, how you perform, your levels of success, all those great things. I've got loads of secret strategies that are incredibly powerful. You've got tangible results through your QI project. You get regular monthly, every 2 one-to-ones with Mary a month. I think that alone has just got to be the biggest sell. You learn how to be you with more balance, more ease, more impact. You know, you really do feel like you're making big steps to create that difference in the world that you want to make. You are part of a community. We're all in it together. We all have a Facebook group where we can go and support each other. We've got regular calls. You're going to have a touch point at least once a week, whether it's a private one-to-one or a group community call. So you have a one science call a month with Mary where you guys come together to talk about the project. There's roughly every 3 weeks we come together and I lead coaching and do some group coaching, which can be really challenging and really powerful, really insightful. We'll always give you a tangible strategy and tool to take away and apply. So you've got the tools you need to do the job. Mm-hmm. We've also got mastermind calls in the latter 6 months of the program. So the first half of the program is very much, it's more intensive and it's more you get more from Mary and I in the first 6 months of the program to get you up and running and get you going and implementing your program. Your project. And then the second 6 months is about, okay, what are you coming up against? How can we help you to problem solve that stuff? What are some different strategies that would really work for you to be applying now as things begin to implement and you want to maintain that change? So that is a very kind of quick overview of the program. Mm. And there's more detail on it, which Mary's going to share a link for you to gain more detail in a few seconds. So Mary, what's the invitation, like from you as the leader of this movement and as the leader of this course, what is your invitation to all of these amazing souls that we have with us?
I just invite you to join us, you know, be part of this movement, be part of making things better. You know, remember those words of Maya Angelou, they may not remember what you said, they may not remember what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. And I think that's what we have a responsibility to do, is to really make these babies and families and our colleagues feel valuable, feel seen, feel like they make a difference and that they are important, because they are, just like yourselves. So I think my invitation, I've got two invitations, because I think that there are some folks on the call that have been toying with the idea of enrolling in the oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart here. Enrolling in the program, enrolling in Quantum Leap. So I want you to consider doing that. Come and enroll in the program. You can schedule an informational interview with me as well. I think I may have made a link faux pas here. So this particular link reads informational interview. It's actually going to take you right over to enrolling in the course itself. The enrollment fee deposit is a $500 deposit. So if you're convinced that this is where you want to go, please go ahead and click that link, and we will follow up with you after the call. For folks that are, still would like to have more information, want to have the opportunity to ask more questions and understand more about what's involved, what their commitment is, what our expectations are of you as part of this community, because we are very particular about our expectations, because your involvement in the program affects the larger group. So we want to make sure that we're very clear about how you will move through the program and what we expect of you. So if you'd like to learn more.
Yeah, but can I just say it as, look guys, you can have, this was the juicy thing, because I knew Mary wouldn't think, she would not big this up in the way that I am about to big this up, okay? But because you've stayed till the end, you can have a one-to-one with Mary, a private one-to-one with Mary, to explore your needs, what's going on for you right now, and also to really discuss, if it feels right for you, like, is Quantum Leap the right next move? Is it the right time? Is this, and if you're being called, forget your head, right? Because you'll probably have doubts and you'll worry about money, or you'll worry about time. Is it the right time? If you feel a call, if there is a part of you that knows deep down that we're talking to you today, please, 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 please schedule the call. Just do that for yourself. The very worst that's going to happen is you're going to get an hour with Mary and an amazing one-to-one, right? And more clarity at the end of that. So just do this for yourself. Some of you might not want to do this right now. It might not be your thing. That's okay. Don't bother clicking. But for those of you who are thinking, oh God, I think they're talking to me, I really want to be part of this. Like Rebecca, yay, Rebecca's all in. Excellent. We want to talk to you, right? We want to talk to you. There is an application process. We do need to make sure you're suitable, that you are going to be right for the program. It's a two-way thing. And so we would love to talk to you. This is what we're here to do. This is the difference we're here to make in the world. We would love you to come with us. And we know that some of you on this call are meant to come with us. And so please, please, please book the one-to-one. Or just, if you're ready to make the leap, take the leap.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I suppose we should ask if there's any, quick questions.
Yeah.
We can take a few. I know we've gone over on our time, and I do want to be respectful of that. But if you've got any quick questions, we're happy to take them here in the chat box, or you can email us after the call altogether.
Rebecca tried to click the link but didn't connect. She'll be in London the 27th of September.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'll see ya.
That might be a bit late though for.
Oh my gosh, it will be late for the course. Thank you so much.
We need to find a way to get in touch with Rebecca so she doesn't.
I will. Absolutely. Thanks, Rebecca. Safe travels.
No, the link didn't work. So is the link there, Mary?
Let's see.
Have you put the link up?
Yeah, it's right there. It works. It will bring you to my calendar, and then you just select the time and date that works best for you, and we'll get it on our diaries.
Excellent. That's so
right.
Exciting.
If you do have technical problems, just email us.
Yeah, no questions. Oh, thank you, Carol. Thank you. Rebecca thinks that we'll come back. Rebecca, right, Mary, why don't you put your email address?
That's a great idea.
Okay, for those of you who might be having a problem with the link or need to go, we're going to give you, there we go, Mary's email address.
Right there at the top.
Yeah.
Shoot me an email. We'll circle back and connect.
Excellent. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Rebecca. Now, we also, those of you that have been engaging, thank you, Ramya. I know you're on your flight. We might have lost you by now. Love to hear from you. So, we would love to hear from you. We'd love to work with you. And if you've got any questions, shout out. Lots of love
Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye. Mwah.
Hope to
Take
see you
care.
soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.